All right, everyone, we are here on the AK Roundtable. It is May 29th. It is of course, last Wednesday in the month of 24. It's good to be here with everyone. I'm excited to, of course, drop some golden nuggets, as we say, with everyone here tonight. Make sure you have a notepad, because let me tell you, whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching the recording or listening to the podcast, there's going to be some golden nuggets you take away. Some that might be worth something extremely valuable to you in business, but also in possibly your personal journey as well. So make sure you have that pad of paper available to you. Also, make sure down at the very bottom, you're going to see there's a reactions button. You can raise your hand. Matthias, I know you're going to send something right now. There you go, the fire. There we go. Dropping the value. And of course, don't be afraid to send those reactions. You also have the chat window down at the very bottom. Feel free to chat with everyone or feel free to chat with anyone individually. And in order to obviously build this network more and get connected with people who are like-minded on a journey to ultimately build futures they desire, you're going to want to go to rename your profile. Some of you already have it done. You can see Chad Keeping, he's got his email address on there. Matthias has his email address on there. And mine is now getting put on here right now. And we do that not to spam you, but to actually have you guys exchange your details. I know that there has been some big 100,000 square foot jobs that have been shared recently, some even bigger. And so make sure that you're using the network to grow your business as well. Cool. Well, let's get rocking. One thing I do want to mention, this. When you come on the AK Roundtable, guys, all that I care about is that you guys are engaged as much as you can throughout the hour. Again, we're here to build each other up. This is a free roundtable. Build each other up, take away those golden nuggets, and keep growing. Let's roll. All right, any good news? Anybody have some big news that they want to share to get the party started here? Some good energy? Dan, good news, bro. Let's go.
So I've been working with Judd since I think November. The Dallas meetup was the first time me and Judd met one-on-one, and I've been doing my one-on-one coaching with Judd since then. And today I did my first couple payment assessments. So for me, that's a big win. I'm finally putting all of what I've been learning for the last 5-6 months. Actually, my feet hit the pavement today, so feels good. Just want to say thanks to Judd, man. I am still just blown away by everything that I've learned from him. So thank you, Judd.
It's been a really good journey, man. It's been cool building a business with you, that process, but it's also been really, really cool to top it off to build a friendship. Like that's, to me, that's the one of the coolest thing is when you can journey together and you can help to drive each other to be better. That's the mission, man, and have fun doing it. So I'm proud of you, bro. And I know that for all of you out there, like building your business too, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time and just learning the process, driving that FTDP, right? All the dang process, which is exactly what you've done. So here for the long haul, man. Looking forward to building this thing to a pavement empire.
Hey, man, thank you.
Good win. I love that. That makes me super excited. By the way, sharing wins is like one of the coolest thing, because I'll tell you, like we say this often, right? Raise your hand if you agree with this. Just tell me. Success attracts success. Raise your hand if you agree with that. Cool. Well, let's keep rolling then. Cool. Any other wins? I know you got to have some wins. Billy, I know you have a win. I know, Mike, you've got a win somewhere. Somewhere there's some wins, guys. I need a couple more wins, and then we're going to roll right into the meat of the meeting. Rob, you got a win?
Potential wins coming in. Dr. Chad, it's crushing it.
Chad, you've got some wins coming, buddy? Oh, his audio is not working. Do you know what the wins are? Can you show? You're muted, bud. You're muted, Rob. Look at that commitment, man.
He's got a couple big parking lots, 165,000 square feet that he's that he's about to win on. And he's just starting to roll to keep rolling in for him. So he's doing good.
Dude, that makes my heart sing, man. Chad, you remember those days, bro? You remember those days where it's like, man, is this going to work? Is this going to work? And you're like, FTDP, pedal to the metal, buddy. Let's go. Proud of you, dude.
Definitely.
I love that, man. I love that. Cool. Congrats, Chad. Proud of you, buddy. All right, cool. Uriah, you have no mic. Do you guys see that in the chat? I got a 250,000 in Oceano. First one over 100K. Nice, man. How cool is that, guys? How cool is that? Rob, bon appetit. Michael Winley, what's up, man? Come on camera, bud. We want to see you. Tell us about the wins you got. Michael Winley. Can you hear us? Come off mute. Come off mute, Michael.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Now we can.
Can y'all, okay. Yeah, I had to pull over because I'm on my way to my we're doing some night washing tonight, and man, I got some wind. So I'm just so pumped from the elite roundup we had this weekend, hanging out with everybody, Skylar, Dom, the whole crew. Hey, it was absolutely amazing. Man, I learned a lot from up there, just from the coaching and the confidence and seeing how the process actually works and getting some hands on with that, knowing that I can do this or I can sell this, you know what I mean? And I can do these things. So I'm pumped. But I come back. I had a friend of my wife's over yesterday. She's gonna help me with the website. We're getting the logo made, some business cards. I got 2 A-team players I work with at UPS. I've been working there with them for 2 years now. And I've talked to them months ago about starting to work. When I get my business running, I pulled them aside today. We had a little conversation. One of the female, and she'll outwork almost any dude in there. And me and her is going to work on this pavement assessment thing. And we're going to run through the skit. And I offered her hourly rate with, and she said, if she books an assessment, that, she'll get some extra. And she's like, Mr. Mike, whatever. I believe in you so much, Mr. Mike, and what you're doing. I'm just so glad to be happy to work it for you. And man, we're excited. We're ready to take off. We're set. We're in motion. I just got to wait for this logo, some other stuff. I'm going to be working on some calls tomorrow. I mean, I got half a day off. So yeah, I'm just getting right back to what I need to be doing, trying to stay focused, making the time to, and Skyler told me for me to quit going around chasing all this side work when I need to be working on my business. And that was a big indicator because I'm always so worried about the bills. But I want to get way ahead of the bills. I want to get to where I have that financial freedom. And I just think, thank y'all for speaking life into me, man. Thank y'all. That's my win for the week.
Congratulations, man. Skylar, take this off. Perfect segue, bro.
Bro, it was such a pleasure. I mean, like exactly what we were talking about before, this kind of started. And we, really where I think the magic happened at this event was the second day in the room as we were wrapping up. And we were going through each one of those things, and it was like, what is the constraint, what is the problem, and each one we worked through a separate problem and a separate constraint. Some of them that were a little bit more personal, some of them were business, some of them related both together, but it was something to see that unfold once we got some time together and we got to do these things. Like, and Michael, it was action, right? Like he just needed to start having the lead and lag indicators. And he was like, man, I'm just a little bit nervous. And I'm like, it's okay. Burn the first 100 leads. Cause I promise you the next 100 after that are going to be amazing. Like you have enough, you are enough, you know the process enough. You've been at more roundtables than half the people that are probably out selling against you, which is more knowledge than they have, So it's like, you just got to take that action. And then we got to the side work thing. And he's like, man, on Saturday, I go and I cut some tree limbs and might make a couple $100. And I was like, but you only have 2 leverages in life, right? Life's all about leverage. You have your time and you have money. Money's leverage and time is leverage. And you need to start trading some of those lower time leverages for higher time leverages where you can spend the same amount of time, but make more dollars in return to spend more money to buy you more time, because that's the game of success. And he was like, you know, I really believe that, again, that was where the magic happened at this event. And like, again, each and every one of them, something that I know was taken away. And it's, dude, it's always just an honor to have these conversations and level up life in this way. So proud of you, bro. You killed it. And by the way, Mr. Michael Windley is a natural at all things seal coating. He hopped on that crack machine, dude, like he's been doing it 20 years. Everybody was like, what is going on? He's laying down hot rubber like nobody's business.
I love that, man. I love that. You know, it's interesting, right? If you think about the concept of time, right? Time. It's like everyone who woke up today, who woke up this morning, let's say before, 9 o'clock, raise your hand. All right, cool. Now raise your hand if you woke up before 7 o'clock. Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you woke up before 5 o'clock. Honestly, be honest, nobody to impress. And raise your hand if you woke up before 4:30 a.m. this morning. Raise your hand, be honest. All right. So let me ask you all a question. If you had more time in the day, in a time where your mind is more alert and you have less distraction, if you actually had some of the most important things to focus on in your earlier part of the day in order to drive big results on the other side of that brick wall that you've been hitting with a sledgehammer, do you think that you might be able to accomplish a more successful future if you did that? Raise your hand if you agree with that. I'm just going to pin that on the wall. I'm going to throw it on a little bumper sticker for you guys, right? Whatever you're wanting to achieve in your life, you can achieve in your life. The question comes down to, do you have the structure in order to actually unfold what it is that you really dream about and desire? And if you don't have the exact structure, then speak with someone who has that kind of structure. Somebody who's super successful, somebody who is like, you want to have a similar life to what it is that they've built. Everybody's unique here, but if I want to be super successful and I want to live a great quality life, wouldn't it make sense to understand a little bit more about what their schedule looked like? I'll give you an idea. My alarm goes off at 4 a.m. in the morning. The very first thing that I do when I wake up is this. The very first thing. I do my daily 9. 3 things that I'm grateful for. 3 things that would make today great. And 3 affirmations. That's the very first thing I start with. The rest I'll leave on my calendar that are tactical, but that's what I start with. That gives you an idea of what I start with. And so practice that. Give that a try. But I don't want to dig too far on this to start your day out and make sure you have more time to be able to achieve the things that you want to do. I really want to spend a little time about what it is that your pain points are here. What are the challenges that you are experiencing in your life right now relating to getting closer to that opening on that brick wall that you're breaking through with that sledgehammer? That analogy, by the way, when I say breaking through a brick wall, I don't want you to think that I'm saying to give up as you're hitting that wall with that sledgehammer. I'm just saying you might only be, 60 or 70 cracks at that wall away from opening up a future that changes the trajectory of your life forever. I'm saying that. Or are you chasing something that's a bright, shiny object off on the side that's distracting you? I don't know, but let's talk about it, man, because if there's some things that you may be working on right now or things that you're uncertain of, I think it's important to bring these pain points up and to have these conversations now. Otherwise, you might be alone trying to figure it out. And I have my spouse who I speak with about all kinds of wonderful things, but I'll be straight, man. Like, There's coaches on here that I speak about stuff with that I don't speak with her about. And I would not be where I am today without those important conversations with groups of like-minded people that are building tremendously successful futures. So let's carve into this. Let's be real with each other. Let's bring up some real solid challenges that we're experiencing. I don't care if you're a coach on here, somebody wanting to start out a business, somebody who's been in the business for 2 decades. I don't really care. Let's talk about it. Raise your hand if you've got something that you want to speak about. And I know that hands will start going up here. Sis Julia, welcome. Good to have you on. Thank you for being first to raise your hand. Come off mute. Let's talk about it.
Good evening, everyone. I am
Evening.
at the starting line, but having an issue starting. I have my own equipment, which is the Rhino Elite 10. And some of the things that I am missing is the process of how to price, how to introduce my business and network other than just having a flyer. I was willing to purchase some material, but I don't have anyone that is willing to allow me, that's crazy, to just charge them for the material, not labor. It's difficult to find a good person because the people that I have thought about and need this work make me feel like they probably wouldn't hire me on a regular day. So I just refuse to work with them. I just want to learn a little bit more about my, just my strategy. I need to put that together. I have everything I need to get started with. I'm just stuck at this point. And that's where I am at right now.
Question, then we'll open it up to some responses here. But like the question I have for you is, are you building a full service pavement asset management business? Like, are you going to do crack sealing, seal coating, and striping? Or are you just starting out with the crack repair side of the business?
I'm just starting out with the crack side of the business. But it doesn't have to stop there. I just want to get started there and get me acclimated into the business to be able to expand.
Got it. So you're focusing on crack repair as the niche to get started.
Yes.
Got it. Cool. How fun. This is awesome. Good for you. Congratulations. You want to know something? I'll tell you.
Yes.
A lot of people don't even start a business. They never even give it a shot.
Okay. I'm here.
But what I'm going to do is give you something. If you change your name on your Zoom or keep your name, but then put your email address on there.
Okay, I was trying to do that before it started, but I got I'm getting used to what's on this board here, and I
throw
just
it in the chat
where I was able to, raise my hand on the reactions, but changing my name, just got to learn that as well.
Throw your email in the chat down in the bottom.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask our AK team. We've got team members on here right now. I'm going to give you our crack repair kickstart course that we usually sell for $500. I'm going to give it to you. And that includes all your pricing, all the details, how to go out and market to leads, how to actually close those deals using the closer framework, and some things that will help you to build your crack repair business. I'll give that to you for free as a thank you for attending here and pouring into yourself.
Thank you.
Cool. Add it into the chat window.
I am. Okay.
Cool. Well, that'll help with a lot of those details. By the way, crack sealing is it's like the #1 most in demand repair when it's sold properly, and it's extremely highly profitable. Anybody here doing commercial crack sealing? Raise your hand if you're doing commercial crack sealing. Let's ask a few questions. Sebastian, what do you charge per linear foot for crack sealing right now? Come off mute. What do you charge a linear foot?
Hey man.
What's up, buddy?
Yeah, so It's actually my first week today, this week, and we've been cracking all kinds, man. It's really good now.
You're making
So,
money, buddy?
huh?
You're making money. Tu fais l'argent.
Fuck yeah. Sorry for that. So man, we got the Airbus 300 and we kind of started with a big bang, man. Just today we sealed one driveway. I did 100 door today by myself, knocking on doors, just driving around with the truck. We did I closed 20 new driveways today.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I left some cards to other ones that weren't home, but yeah, man, we're pretty good. On the way back home, I closed a 6,000 square foot job just by stopping by because people were outside and started to talk with them, and yeah, man, it's something.
Congratulations.
Scary. It's not scary.
Yeah.
It's exciting, but it's something. It's something else.
Congratulations, bro.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. And but for crack sealing, well, over here, like if I follow kind of the market, they're between $1.25 and $1.50 a linear foot.
Great work, man. Great work. Great work. Sis Julia,
Absolutely.
you heard that? You heard that? There you go. $1.25,
I
$1.50
did.
a linear
Thank you.
foot.
Thank you.
Yeah. Clinton Lewis, what are you charging a linear foot for crack sealing, buddy? Come off mute.
$1.15. What we're starting at.
$1.15.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Scott, what do you charge a linear foot for crack sealing?
$1.25.
Dom, what do you charge in Long Island? What do you charge crack sealing over there?
$1.
$1.
You gotta
There you
remember,
go.
all my equipment's paid off, so I kind of take that into the figure.
You, Dom, you were doing projects, though. You were doing crack sealing projects. How many linear feet were you doing in a night?
We had a couple melters going between 8 and 10,000 linear feet. We were doing
8 and 10,000 linear feet in a night. How many people?
Yep. 2 guys.
2, right?
2 guys. Yep.
Hey, that's good stuff. Cool. Cool. Dom, what's going on, man?
On the mud, just driving through the hills of the PA right now.
Some more projects booked over there or what?
No, I'm teamed up with Skyler up at Pro Seal, and we kind of running ops for him right now and bouncing back and forth between New York and PA, and living the dream.
You have projects up there. You guys have been crushing it, man. You guys have been knocking it out of the park. Scholar, what have you guys been doing weekly? How many square feet a week have you guys been laying it down together?
I mean, just these past 4 days, we probably did, I don't know, I'm giving you a rough estimate off of what I've been looking at, like 100,000 a day, roughly 70 to 100,000 a day. Like,
you guys hear that? Raise your hand if you just heard that. And Scholar, I'm sure you didn't have to work for any of those projects. They just come to your table, right? They just call your phone number and like, hey, dude, come and do this deal. Right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, right. No. That's
cool.
That's lots and lots and lots and lots of little actions that you don't even realize compound over time, and sometimes it just becomes part of the engine until you need to find the place to continue to push it. And you look at lots of little things that you've put a lot of time and a lot of money into, and you perfect them, and now it's, once you perfect those, it's taking the next step and the next step and the next step. And what are all those different things? Salesman, me, the ops team, our administration team, everything from getting information relayed to getting jobs closed to getting the ops team to execute jobs. Like, worrying about the website, worrying about the brand, all of those things have played into each and every one of those executions.
Billy, what's your biggest challenge that you've got going on, Mr. Billy? Come off mute.
Right now, I've been putting off a lot of jobs. I'm currently studying for an exam, and I'm transitioning out in a few months. So trying to balance some multiple hats, doing a few jobs. But the biggest problem that a lot of us face might be communication with the property managers. And I see a weakness. We all come, we have like energy, or try to have the energy that Michael brings every week. And it's great. But the property managers sometimes don't have the, they look at it as a job. They're providing a service. I think we all bring more solutions to our customers, and what I would like to do is be the source. So be a property manager, allow myself in a role as a property manager, and funnel traffic my way. And then what services I don't provide, of course, like a lot of people have mentioned before, they sub out, but not just in asphalt, but in other segments that property managers are used, whether that be, I had a customer that asked me about fire suppression systems for, sprinkler systems, like knowing the guys or gals that you can link up with, that can take care of those solutions and get to your customers promptly, professionally, and to give them the assurance they need. Because like I deal with the property, I'm not going to say the name, but I deal with them today, just trying to collect the payment. It's been a month, and I've sent numerous emails, and I finally got a phone call today. And it's just, I don't like to be in a bad guy, but sometimes like it gets frustrating. So just try to have the patience, and then if you see a need, fulfill it. If someone else ain't doing something that is to your standard, to that lighthouse standard, move them out the way. Eat more.
Good luck with your studying, bro, and yeah, keep the FTDP going, right?
Yes, sir.
You know what FTDP stands for. Follow the dang process. Follow the dang process. Cool. Hey, Robert Wallace, I got a question for you. You ready for
Yes,
this
sir.
one?
I am. Go ahead.
Yep.
Mr. Robert Wallace,
Yes, sir.
what's your biggest challenge right now?
My biggest challenge right now. My biggest challenge right now, I don't know that I really have a biggest challenge. I tend to look at them as, things just kind of flow together and you just go with it. I don't really know that I have a biggest challenge. I think the biggest challenge right now is being personal would be my eye.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be it. Sorry, I don't have a better answer for you, man.
No, you're good, man. I wasn't carving it. I was curious in knowing biggest challenge. My biggest challenge, I'll tell you guys, I'm going to share this with you right now. My biggest challenge straight up is trying to get you guys what you need to be able to be as successful as you possibly can. That's my biggest challenge, straight up. Just being real. Like that's the hard for each and every one of you on here, right? Like that's when I say challenge, you get my drift. It's that sledgehammer against the brick wall, man. For those of you that have staff, employees, family, children, friends, all that stuff, right? It's like, I desire to be successful, but I much prefer to be successful through helping other people be successful. That's like the ultimate. It's a pretty cool thing. Don Manzo, what about you, man? You got your hand up, buddy.
Yeah, of course. So I'm sorry if it's hard to hear me. I'm in the truck, but
we're good. We can hear you.
Great. I've had some huge challenges in the past year. And my biggest challenge was, I was running myself in too many different directions. I was unable to focus on one direction and one goal. And what it did was it forced me into a whirlwind, and I got overwhelmed, and it wound up hurting me more than it was helping. And, what I did is I spoke to some of my very close friends and my inner circle, and what I needed to do was I needed to take a step back, and I needed to really find out what my goals were, and where I wanted my business to go, and what I desired in life. And by doing that, what happened is I took a step back, and I just put myself in my lane. And now that I'm about, I'd say 5 weeks into just focusing on one mission, one goal, it has done something extremely remarkable for me, and it has it has given me a lot of clarity and a lot of confidence and consistency, and it's actually doing some pretty amazing things for me. So, if you guys are struggling with, maybe that you're trying to do too many things at one time, maybe it's just growing too many services in your business at one time. Maybe for me, I had to just stop, focus on one thing, and it really helped me. It helped me gain traction and a new path. So I don't know if that might help anybody, but try to stay in your lane a little bit. That's been helping me the past few weeks.
Appreciate you, Dom. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, here's the big question that comes from that I think is important to reflect on. Take your notepad and write down exactly what it is in business that you absolutely love to do. Write down the number one thing that you love to do most in your business. So I'll give you some hints. It could be marketing, it could be sales, it could be doing the work, it could be accounting, it could be business development, it could be, I don't know what it is, but write down that number one thing that you love the most and that you would love doing every day. And then the question that I would have as a follow-up to you is, raise your hand if you think you can be good at absolutely everything. Raise your hand. If you can be good at absolutely everything, raise your hand. Well, we got a bit of a challenge because in small business, when we're building a business and we're an owner operator, a one-man owner operator, and maybe somebody helping us and so on, you got to be good at everything. And then you realize that you're not good at everything. And then you look in the mirror and you're saying, man, I'm failing at this stuff. I'm not feeling like I'm successful. Yeah, I'm making money doing it, but I'm like, how much money am I going to be able to make in this particular situation where I'm stuck on this hamster wheel? And so we've put ourselves in a corner where we feel like we have to do everything really well as a business owner, as a small business owner, but really we can't do everything all that well. So we're limited on what we're able to actually do and grow from a capacity perspective, because you're working so deep in the business and you're no longer an owner of a business that has built a machine instead of a hand crank business. And so if you really love to do something and you write that down, do you love being an owner of a business? And being an owner of a business, I'm not saying that you just want to say, I love being an owner of a business and making tons of money while everybody else does the work. That's not what I mean. Who here wants to make a bunch of money with their business? Who here thinks that a bunch of money is different to each and every one of us on this screen right now? Some will say $100,000 is a lot. Other people will say $1.5 million is a lot, is a lot, but what they want. Some people will say, I want 5 million. Some people desire to be a $10 million company. But the reality of it is, it has to start with truly becoming vulnerable in what it is that you love to do, and making sure that you have the exact processes and systems and tools that allow you to build a machine business that you can plug people into, where you have very clear agreements with the people that you're plugging into your business. They're called A-player agreements, with very clear KPIs and critical drivers. And I know I might be losing some of you on this stuff. I'm not expecting you to all know what KPIs and critical drivers and all that stuff, but shit, man, there's email addresses on here right now. There's people who know this stuff, and it's like up to you to write that down on your notepad to say, I want to explore building a machine business. I want to learn more about that. I don't want to be working in my business forever. It may be a partnership, right? Like Dom and Skylar. Skylar, let me ask you a question, Skylar. First, let me ask you, Dom. Dom, do you love being out in the field and leading crews and building culture and doing projects? Yes or no?
Yes,
Do you love it?
I love it.
You love it. Skylar. Skylar, let me ask you a question, dude. Does it help you grow your business to have somebody that loves to do that as part of ProSeal? Does that help you?
1000%. Because it's not what I love to do, and it's not what I'm super good at.
So now you can grow.
That's why the partnership has been so dynamic. Like, again, like he's referencing, in a short couple weeks, it's scary how quick the tables are turning in a short couple weeks when you have the right people and the right systems, and you put those together, how quick it can compound. Like, it's crazy.
So when you have the processes and systems, and you have the right agreements in place, and you have the right people to plug into the right spots that love what they are doing, you now have built a business that actually can scale and grow, correct?
1000%.
Raise your hand honestly, everyone, and I'm not looking for just confirmation. Raise your hand if you truly agree with this. Honestly. Then we have a responsibility to make sure that we truly understand the processes and systems. And Stephanie, I remember in Florida, there was the Yellow Brick Road. You remember the Yellow Brick Road? Right? #1 most watched movie on planet Earth was The Wizard of Oz, right? There you go. Yellow Brick Road, Yellow Brick Road. So the question really to everyone is, do you have the Yellow Brick Road that you need to follow to achieve the dream of making a lot of money? Because you said, not me, you guys said you want to make a lot of money. Based upon that, a lot of money, what does that look like from that a lot of money backwards as a yellow brick road in order to achieve that?
Judd, I think if there's one thing too that we should add on is, it seems to be a trend that we've been seeing a lot lately, is a lot of people are really, really, really at the end goal. They're at the end of the yellow brick road when the movie's over, right? They're hitting the end goal, and they're like, oh, it's this, and this. And I'm like, okay, I totally understand that, but I'm going to run out of customers, and I'm going to do this. And I'm like, but you haven't owned a single service area yet, or a channel in that service area yet, or whatever that is. And it's making sure that you understand how to do business at this level and hit it and crush it, and how to do business at the next level and hit it and crush it, and continue to understand what those levels are and what the requirements are, working through those things. It's exactly, again, this leads into exactly the conversation we were having leading into this, of like, I've done everything to this level, and now I'm heading into another level where it's like, this is definitely different. And I am unsure, right, at times, where it's like, Is it this or is it that? I've done this and all these are right. So is it this move or this move over here? What is the right marketing channel? What is the next step? Is it another service area? Is it another line item? Is it getting my customers to shop more frequently? Like, you know, there's so many different plays that go through my head because the math is right. You know, the math is adding up.
100%.
It's just, what is the next step? But I haven't played at the next step yet, so I'm just not quite sure. So exactly what you're saying of understanding. I don't know if you've seen the post right before I got on this. Is like I posted in the Facebook group, who's doing 5 million plus in maintenance, right? Like I need to find the person that's doing that at that level, because that is the person that I need to see, because it's one thing. Like it might be, oh, he has 7 salesmen and that's why he's doing $5 million. Of course. Okay. That's the ticket to success. Maybe it's, oh, he owns, 3 or 4 service areas and that's how he got to 5 million. Some of those things make sense. But a lot of people get really, 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 really hammered on the back end of like, oh yeah, we're going to 5 million, or we're going to 1 million, or we're going to this. And I'm like, learn how to make $250,000 in a business. Have you ran a business that does $250,000? If not, make that your micro sprint. Macro goal, micro sprints. Like get to a quarter, get to a half, get to 3 quarters, then get to 1 million. But each one of those levels are definitely, I don't want to say slightly different, but pretty significantly different in a sense. Same core functions, but things are definitely way different.
Like this for me, look at this. So I couldn't agree more, Skylar, by the way. Raise your hand if you have a revenue target that you're going for. Raise your hand with your business if you have a revenue target. All right, cool. Raise your hand if you have a gross profit target attached to your business that you've already set as a gross profit target. And I'm not asking you guys to raise your hand just to raise it. If you don't have that, you need to have your revenue target and your gross profit target. And then raise your hand if you have the true revenue roadmap in order to unfold that plan. Matthias, you do, because you're in the 13-week races. You have your KPI and you have your critical drivers. Robert Wallace, you have your KPIs and your critical drivers. Every single person in our company has KPIs and critical drivers so that we can shoot for what it is that we're going after. And you know what? Even if we don't hit it, we can look at each other and say we gave it our best shot and we had a plan to follow when we got closer to the target than shooting an arrow that just went out into the woods. And so let me show you guys something here. This is important for you guys that are doing the sales power stack with me. You're going to also see this in depth. But inside of AK Dash, what I actually had our development team do, just to be clear for you guys, I wanted to make this super easy for you guys. Inside of AK Dash, you have your goal targets where you set this under administrator. And I've literally set up your revenue roadmap, depending on whether you want to do 100 grand, 200 grand, 350, 500, 750, million, million and a half, 2 million, or a custom target we can actually program. But what I wanted to do as an example on $350,000, I wanted to set up what the targets were so that when we go over here into your main navigation under targets, you guys had a clear understanding of what you need to do. So in here, that's from $0 to $2,500 each. You're going to notice that there's the target up at the top and then the actual over on the right. So everything from this part to the right is the actual numbers based upon your proposals you've pushed out through the system and that you've converted to close won deals, etc. But what we've done is done this so we actually pre-program the number of bids that you need to put out. At a win rate of 30%, that means we win 18 deals with a gross profit of 60%. That's our revenue. That's our gross profit. And down at the bottom, we're on track to do the 352,000 in revenue with a gross profit of 142. This is the actual numbers over here. So what we're doing is we're setting up the yellow brick road to actually achieve, the yellow brick road, so that you guys can actually work that yellow brick road to be able to actually achieve results. It's called assumptive. This is what we're going for. This is the roadmap. This is the plan. And then here's what's actually taking place over here. And you're able to actually understand inside of your dashboard on the entry on the homepage at your at a glance dashboard of where you're actually short and where you need to perform. And so my point to everyone is if you have a revenue target and you're not sure of your gross profit and you don't have the roadmap to be able to execute to achieve your goals, my concern is that you may go out and do a bunch of residential driveways, like 15 residential driveways, 4 days a week, and you're going to end up hitting maybe $200,000 in revenue, but you were hoping for $1 million. But we know at $1 million divided by $500 per job, that's 2,000 jobs. And it's physically impossible for Sebastian to go out with his air boss to do 2,000 jobs in a season. So he can't make $1 million in revenue unless he goes after commercial work that has a higher average job price per job. And that's why, Skylar, what's the population of Annville, Pennsylvania, my brother?
54,000.
54,000 people, and you have surrounding towns as well, like Hershey and so on, right?
No, that's
County.
I'm sorry, that's county. Yeah.
All right, cool. Bottom line is you're not in a massive metropolitan city and outskirts where you have millions of your population's not in the millions, but yet you have a 7-figure business that's growing fast.
Yes. Correct. Yeah. Any major population is 2+ hours away, 2.5 hours. Like Philadelphia would be the major metropolitan for us, and that's like 2.5 hours.
And that revenue roadmap that you're working on with making sure that your EBITDA, your bottom line is super sexy, which you've spent an enormous amount of time diving into, and you teach that to your coaching clients as well. To me, everyone that's on here right now, if you're serious about building business, like just to be clear, if you're serious about it, don't do it alone, man. Use the systems, use people, leverage that. I keep pitching you guys coaching. I keep pitching you AK Dash, whatever you're going to use your own coach, use your own system, Jobber, Paysoft. I don't care what you use, but for goodness sakes, please do not wait until another season goes by and you're stuck at the end of the season going, man, I wish I would have made more money this season. I'm stuck. Like, just to be straight. I love you all. I care about you guys. I want you to be super successful. I want you to be really, really proud of what you're building. And it's not easy to build this alone. It's not. It's not. Matthias, are you clear on your KPIs and your critical drivers relating to the plan that we stack out every quarter?
Yes. I review them 3 or 4 times a week.
Mr. Wallace, are you clear on your KPIs and your critical drivers?
100%.
Dylan Malone, are you clear on your KPIs and your critical drivers?
Sir, I am.
Danny Leotode, question for you. On the 13th, are you clear about what Mary has to actually unfold with the KPIs and critical drivers?
Yeah, on our next meeting, I'll definitely want to get it just a little bit more dialed in, but I've got a good idea. He's been doing outbound calls every day, so I just want to kind of present that to you and see if he's in line with kind of what the industry standard is. So he's been working for about a week now. He's already he's done 3 assessments in, I guess, 5 days. So
it's awesome, dude. He has a roadmap. It's like, that's there, right?
Yeah.
We have a hand up over here. It's Vietro Outdoor Services. Can you hear us? Maybe not. Does anybody know what your KPI should be as a kind of single owner operator in your business? Does anybody know what your KPI is? Raise your hand if you know what your KPI should be. Your key performance indicator.
I tell everybody there's 5 major ones that they should be tracking at all time. So should be gross revenue, should be net revenue, should be average ticket, should be booking rate, and cost of acquisition for a customer. Those are the 5 that I think can fix any business, in my opinion, and they're very important. Like,
say that one more time.
Gross revenue, net revenue, average ticket, conversion rate, cost of acquisition. Like,
so question for you. What are two drivers that could drive that revenue KPI?
So like outbound calls or more marketing dollars or marketing, it depends how you market. It depends on your business, but outbound lead call or, it could be upsells on service items. Like there's a bunch of different ways that we could go about it depending on how your business is.
So I'll tell you what it is that I believe is the two critical drivers that are going to really drive that revenue as an owner operator. One is total number of quotes that go out. The average quote amount and the quote to sale conversion rate.
Yeah.
Those three critical drivers right there for driving the revenue KPI is super important. This is an interesting one though. If you're not measuring that, like if you're not measuring, and Skylar, you know this, man, like you just said Barnes he closed a bunch of deals this week.
Yeah. He closed 37 grand yesterday. I think like another 15,000 today. And the one was a $2,200 crack fill job that they called us for. And he upsold them to a seal coat crack fill line stripe for 23 grand.
How long has he been working with your company in sales?
This is only like week 5 or 6. And we're quoting like $2 million a month. Like right before I left, we were at $1.89 million we've quoted this month already. And that same thing last month, like it's $2+ million a month.
I love that. Makes me happy.
What?
And so
Like
him understanding those conversion metrics are really important, right? Because he knows it's a numbers game. At the end of the day, it's like, we've got to be able to drive this number of quotes out at this average quote amount in order to yield a conversion rate of X will drive that revenue. It's like,
and like he's
sauce.
already raising the conversion rate by 4.7%. So it was like 38.4 last year. We're at 42.2 or something like that right now. These are just shooting off the top of my head from looking earlier, but yeah. So yeah, like everything's up. Average tickets are up by 5 times. Conversion rate is up by like 5-ish%. Quote amount is insane. In totality last year, we've already doubled or triple what we've quoted this year in total last year. Like we've only quoted, I think, 2.8 million total last year, and we're like reaching like 5 million here.
Dude, how cool is that, man? How cool is that? I mean, you've been doing this though. The reality of it is you've been doing this for 2 decades, 20 years, right? You've been doing this asphalt game for 20 years.
No.
How many years have you been in the asphalt industry, bro?
This is 5, I think.
How cool is that?
Yeah. Yeah, not at all. With no prior asphalt knowledge at all. With no service knowledge at all. None of it. I learned
I'm gonna share this, bro. Look at this. You know this cat right here, bro. Look at this. For those of you, and I'm gonna be straight with you guys. Look at this. Can you guys see this message right here? Who can read that? Okay, Lewis, let's do it. Read that message right there. Can you read that,
a little
bro?
small. Yeah. Going good. It's been great to get some projects complete. We just passed 1 million in signed contracts. Drew has been kicking ass. He's with new estimator today training.
Matthias, when did Jason Morales start with our company? When did he start doing the AAK Biz Growth sales training with us?
I believe he started either earlier, maybe late September when he finally signed everything up and started in.
They've been awarded with over $1 million in work since January, to be clear. And they've got 46 million, listen to this, 46 million in their pipeline quoted. And they don't own a shovel.
$1 million a week.
Yep. They don't own a shovel. Skylar, they have 4 salespeople now. Appointment setters, booking, payment assessment appointments. It's the same shit we teach everybody. They're just crushing it, dude. Like they're working it, turning it into a complete machine business.
1000%. Those guys are beasts out there too. Me and Jason go back and forth a lot, so and it goes to show, right? It's not always the hierarchy in the organization too. You see this happen amongst contractors all the time. You've seen this happen amongst coaches and contractors. You see it go in a ton of different ways where, there's been things where Jason has helped me with setting up certain processes and doing, what is the orientation? And then he's like, hey man, we've done absolutely no projects and I got to make it look like I have some good marketing content. Can you help me out with some pictures and do some things that way? And can you show me some good, completed, nice, crispy work? And, so it goes back to the community again, once again, just leveraging that and understanding the people that are, might have a little bit of knowledge here, a little bit of knowledge there. Even this weekend, we got a card from one of the guys. He had a prospecting card for employees, and it was a little business card. It was super, super clean, and it was his recruiting card. Like, he was like, I see somebody with a good attitude at a restaurant, out of this, out of that, at a gas station, at a drive-through. He's like, you can almost tell when someone cares, right? And he's like, here's my little card. And he had a great little card that he gave us. And I was like, actually, can I have one of those? I really like that example. Like, and, I think sometimes people even get lost in the rooms. They'll be like, oh, I'm too smart for this, or I'm too this. And I'm like, anywhere you can get a 1% edge, it's the way it leads to the success, guys. It's not necessarily always the huge thing, but sometimes it's the little thing that turns into the huge thing. You never truly know when that's going to be. So it's just that constant, ruthless pursuit of development. Find it everywhere.
If you understand how to generate traffic, if you understand how to generate leads, if you understand how to convert those leads into sales, and then you know how to build lifelong accounts with lifetime value, you build a company that has amazing enterprise value. It's just TLCR is that formula, right? Traffic, leads, conversion, repeat. TLCR. If you don't have a system that you're working with, if you don't have an actual CRM and you don't have pipelines and task environments and the ability to do your pavement assessments and proposals, you're losing against people that do. I'll just be straight with you guys. You will lose against the people that have it because they're over delivering on the value compared to what you'd be doing on some kind of a handwritten estimate or quote.
Judd, I think on some of those KPIs and stuff, and kind of what those basics are, but to at least give everybody like industry standard of like, sometimes like, we even see it in a sense of like, oh, I need more leads. And you're like, okay, what's your conversion rate? And it's like, oh, it's 10%. And I'm like, well, there's your problem. Like, you know what I mean? You don't need more leads. You need a better sales process or whatever it is. But just so it can be broken down of like, typically we're seeing a 25% industry standard on conversion and what some of those things are. So, just so anybody that don't know those KPIs of what they should at least be striving to hit.
Yeah, it's super important. Super important. Questions, anyone? I know we're at the top of the hour. Any questions that you guys have? You guys find was there any takeaways today? Do you have any notes that you've taken down? Raise your hand if you've got something that you've taken away tonight. All right, cool. Questions? Anything you want to, like, anybody raise your hand if you feel overwhelmed, honestly, like overwhelmed right now with the amount of stuff that's in front of you. See how we all kind of like, we waited for that a little bit till everybody else started raising their hand. I mean, if you're not feeling overwhelmed in business, then you're not in business really, right? So it's just part of the journey, man. But I think it's really important, when asked the question, are you overwhelmed? Or are you feeling overwhelmed? Why don't you take some time, some quiet time to journal about that, right? Like actually come up with the things that that might be driving you to feel overwhelmed. Because if you identify some of those things, then maybe you can work on that at your 4:00 a.m. alarm clock that wakes up before everybody else is awake, and then you add an extra few hours to your day and you're able to actually make some good headway using that sledge through the brick wall to the land of opportunity across the side of that wall. Just saying. Pietro, outdoors, can you hear us? You're muted. If you think we can hear you, we cannot. You could probably hear us, but your hand is up again.
I'm here. I apologize. I'm trying to get
You're
my kids
good.
back while I'm listening. I apologize.
You're good, man. What question do you have?
Well, I'm actually. Oh, I'm sorry, bud. Give me 1 second. I'm actually today. I actually sent out my first line striping quote. I kind of just walked into a local business and I pre-written up. Unfortunately, I'm not on. I'm fresh into this. So I actually had a handwritten quote. I wrote it up real nice. And I understand. You just said that not having everything automated and everything, and what you said about branding and scaling is big for me. I come from the landscaping world. I did have a landscaping company for 3 years. This is all new to me, so I'm just trying to learn. My biggest question is, in the beginning, will the pay should getting an like Outlook or AK Dash or something like that, should I work on that first to be able to get a more professional quote? Should that be something initially I should be putting at the top of the priority list to be getting, looking more professional?
The system is it's like literally you've got a bunch of people nodding, but it's like you need to have a system out of the gate that you're using to start creating integrity in your contacts and your data, and start to move that. Like learn that, and inside of there too, you're going to see that there's actual things that will give you the guidance with a lot of language as well. And then I would definitely, like, my recommendation for anybody starting in this industry, the perfect roadmap, like if I was starting over again, if I was literally starting over again, the roadmap that I would use is I would get on AK Dash and I would immediately, just to be clear, I would immediately get with a coach who has built a thriving company to give you the exact process and details that you should unfold to build your business. Most people don't do it that way. Most people go out and they buy a whole whack of equipment first, and then they try to figure it out after the fact. And it's a big mistake for a lot of people, man. You should have your key contact to help you do this properly by setting the right foundation and then setting up something that can scale as a machine. That's the best advice I can give you, brother.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Yeah, and like for those of you that are just starting out too, jumping in the deep end with equipment out of the gate, again, like you could actually just focus on being a marketing and sales company that's doing some lead generation, closing some deals, subcontracting that with the work out of the gate just to start with. And then you can move into buying a bunch of equipment at a later time if that's what you wanted to do. I know some people are like, no, screw that, man. I'm just going to jump right into all the equipment out of the gate. But I'll just tell you, like, that equipment, if it's not out there working and performing, it's costing you money, just to be clear. Like Sebastian with that Airboss, if that Airboss, like right now, that Airboss is costing him money sitting right now. That Airboss needs to be out there working those projects constantly like they were today, right? They need to be working. And then this winter, where are you, in Montreal? Ish. So to me, like, your season is going to stop with seal coating roughly in the month of October. You're going to be done. And then you're going to need to move to other things like hot pour crack sealing and so on, and then doing some infrared patching and some good patching before the winter hits. And then you're going to extend the season by doing those things. So team, if you are not aware of what your path looks like because you haven't been down that path before, again, get the proper training and coaching so you can build this thing and really do well with it. All right, team. Any last questions before we hop off? I know we're 8:08 now. Any questions? Any feedback? Any statements, comments?
We got Kay Lewis from North Texas Line Striping. He's got his hand up and he's trying to. I don't know if you see him. He might be down in the corner.
He was.
Right on. I'll make it real quick. It's a short question. So your AK Dash, I think I'm gonna get a subscription for it here shortly. Would that be a full CRM, or is that strictly just quoting and sales tracker and not really a CRM to manage your database of clients?
Yeah, so you have all your leads, your contacts, your accounts, your targets, your proposals, pavement assessments. So you can actually go into, let's just say, a pavement assessment here. I'm just going to show you a quick example, but
yeah,
you know, you're going to go get your pavement assessments, your proposal drafting. It's designed, again, this is a sample, but it will literally go into all the preloaded stuff, all your pacer scale rating, all that stuff, different things that you're recommending without pricing. It's like the medical report, right, for your parking lot. But like, you do have all of your contacts, your deal pipelines. You can manage all this. There's automation. If you go into the big boss level, not the basic model, but big boss or king boss, you then have access to the pavement assessments as well as automation and workflows and all of that stuff as well. Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
And also we are working right now on some really cool stuff. Scheduling is going to be in it shortly. And so you guys are, anybody who's in it for scheduling in the king boss level, just to be clear, you guys are grandfathered into at that price. We're not charging you more for scheduling. Scheduling is a built-in module, and we have a subcontractor portal as well, so that you could sub work out to other contractors that are also a part of AK Dash. So that becomes a pretty cool network that you're going to be able to have access to, and post jobs and those kind of things coming down the road. So some good stuff. That answer your question? Cool. Nice. Hey guys, go party. Have fun, man. Go close a bunch of deals, fill your pipeline. Make sure you wake up bright and early. Try that daily 9 thing. It's really cool. It works really well. 3 things you're grateful for, 3 things that would make today great, 3 affirmations, and then carbon. I am looking forward to next week. And for those of you who are on the sales power stack, we're going to see you tomorrow night on Thursday. We got some fire coming tomorrow night. We're going to get into the grit, and you guys are going to start to have some homework around actually getting those pavement assessments and proposals out that are going to convert to actual money. Mike's sitting there going, "Are you serious, man? I got to go on and already get a deal here coming up in the next 2 weeks." I'm like, "Yep, for sure. Let's get a deal closed. Rob McKenzie's ready to rock." Cool, guys. Have a great night. See you next week. Same time, same place, right on the AK Roundtable. Take care, everyone. See ya.
Good job, brother. Good job.